at Dell.com/deals.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
New York City, you are now rocking with the best. Lloyd Banks, G-Neck.
We on fire. Up in here, it's burning hot. We on fire. So we take it off if it get too hot. Up in this spot, we on fire. Tear the roof off the smoke. Let the roof on fire. What you say? We get loose in the smoke. Let the roof on fire. Nah, I ain't putting nothing out. I smoke when I want a 26-inch chrome spokes on a Hummer. This heat gon' last for the whole summer. Running your faster than the road runner. Rocks on my wrist, rose gold under on my hip. Those I'm riding diamonds by the pier, but when you stop, the only thing still spinning is your ear. Yeah, I'm riding with that old waiters cat back, all black gloves. I made these man, but the ball smack thugs. These record sales equal more back gloves.
Happy Hump Day. Welcome in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. This, of course, is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture with me, Jill Munroe. And tonight, as usual, we have a packed show. But before we get into all of that, make sure that you are comfortable. You have maybe a beverage, a libation. It's the middle of the week, after all. And that you are comfortable. Hit up social media to that so that you can tap in. KBLA 1580. I, of course, am at Stiletto Jill. If you want the visual to go along with this audio experience, we are on YouTube, KBLA 1580. Come by and say hello. And perhaps you want to jump in, weigh in tonight on any of the topics. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Now, let me get into what we are going to be talking about on tonight's show. So you just heard Fitty. That's one of Rick Ross's, arch nemesis. Huh? Lloyd Banks. But 50's on that song though, right? Okay. Well, that counts. Nobody's listening to Lloyd's verse. It's 50 on the hook. Anyway. Shout out to Lloyd Banks. It's on fire. Where is he at now? At any rate, we're going to be talking about Rick Ross. Rick Ross is the neighbor of Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill. And back in January, Hill's house caught on fire. Well, Rick Ross recorded a little bit from the scene and shared it to social media. And Tyreek Hill revealed that he's not for that. He has a problem with that. So we'll get into their back and forth. And are there boundaries when we share everything on social media at this point? If you are showing something that others are, does someone that you kind of have a relationship with have a right to be upset with you? We'll get into that. We've been talking about a lot of these new discrimination lawsuits that are coming up. The next company up is Columbia Records. They are being sued for discriminating against white applicants for lower level assistant positions, etc. We'll get into the details of the case. Yesterday we mentioned that a CBS show, Seals, is being sued by a white story editor for similar circumstances, claiming that the only way that you could advance in that environment was if you were a woman or person of color. So we're going to talk about these suits and, them taking a playbook from the civil rights struggles that had happened not too long ago, and get into that. And then in hour 3, Nelly says that the 2000s era of hip hop were the most competitive era that existed, that there is no competition currently. So we're going to talk a little bit, as we like to do, about the current state of hip hop, if Nelly is right about competition, and get into all of that. But before we get into all of those topics, I like to start the night with a few conversation starters, topics, things that you need to be aware of, but we can't get into the full thing. So, speaking of CBS, they are teaming up with the NAACP to develop a daytime soap opera under their content partnership. The series is currently titled The Gates. It's going to air on CBS television along with CBS Studios. And it will also involve a partnership with Procter & Gamble, their division of P&G Studios. So kind of like the old days, what these soap operas were created for, for companies to market their products, soap especially. So the official description of The Gates is that it will follow the lives of a wealthy Black family in a posh gated community. Michelle Van Gene is going to serve as the writer, showrunner, and executive producer. She's been a writer for The Bold and the Beautiful since 2012. She's also written for shows like General Hospital and Santa Barbara back in the day. And so Sheila Duckworth, who is the president of CBS Studios NAACP Venture, says The Gates will be everything we love about daytime drama from a new and fresh perspective. The series will salute an audience that has been traditionally underserved with the potential to be a groundbreaking moment for broadcast television. It will have multi-dimensional characters, juicy storylines, and Black culture front and center. The Gates will have impactful representation, one of the key touchstones of the venture, and she says she's excited. I am going to tell you that this seems a little off, right? There aren't really any new daytime soap operas. The ones that are still going, Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, and General Hospital. Days of Our Lives airs exclusively on Peacock now. I just, in 2024, although, some of our favorite murder, drug dealing, kill shows are soap opera-esque, are what we really looking for is a daytime soap opera drama. Of course, rooting for everybody Black, so happy to see all the Black jobs that are going to come for it. But is this a way to kind of circumvent all of the other primetime programming or streaming shows or other shows that are being cut from the lineups? It just seems sort of a soap opera in 2024. Who's doing that? But perhaps it'll work. We'll see. Like I said, we're rooting for everybody Black. So hopefully it will be a fabulous creative endeavor that will keep us locked and loaded. And there hasn't been a new soap opera that is on the predominantly Black side in daytime since Generations, which aired on NBC back in the late 80s and featured Vivica Fox and others. So shout out to them. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into this Rick Ross story. We're going to talk about some more new programming that's headed your way and more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we were talking about new productions, new TV shows that are going to be blessing the airwaves. And there's another new show that is headed towards BET Plus, actually. Carl Weber's The Family Business is getting a spinoff, and this one will be The Family Business New Orleans. And its cast is going to feature Brandon T. Jackson, Layla Rashawn. You know, that's sunshine, y'all. Layla's coming back to the screen. Ben Stevens, Pooch Hall. We know him from The Game, and Ray Donovan. Quincy Brown. We know Quincy from Star. That is Kim Porter's son. David Banner, Yvette Nicole Brown, Orlando Jones, Erica Hubbard, Bernadette Stannis, you know, that's Thelma from Good Times, and a bunch of others. So Jensen Atwood, we had Jensen up here as a guest on RSVP, so shout out to him, and a bunch of others. The original Family Business is currently in its 4th season. This spinoff is shooting here in LA and in New Orleans. Its premiere date is to be determined, and it's basically following Weber's best-selling crime book drama series, and that follows the Duncan family. They're an upstanding, tight-knit family led by Elsie Duncan, who's portrayed by Ernie Hudson, and he owns and operates an exotic car dealership in New York by day. By night, there are other illicit activities that is going on with it. So this will be the spinoff. We will keep you posted about more details. Now, former Love and Hip Hop star, current Zeus Network star of Jocelyn's Cabaret, Jocelyn Hernandez, is taking some heat for the new merch line that she dropped. You know, it has always been kind of referenced, alluded to, joked about, feared about, that Jocelyn is a cocaine bear. And Jocelyn has decided to embrace that sort of thought process behind her, and she has dropped a new line called Coca Line. And it is, various merch, as we do with the various fonts, spray paints, whatever, and she's selling it. But a lot of people are upset. They said that this is crossing the line, that she is glorifying drug use. And clearly, it hasn't served her that well. Jocelyn's ended up in cuffs a couple of times because she couldn't handle her consumption. And people feel like it's irresponsible. But I feel like, what do you expect from somebody that is on Zeus Network and all of the things that are going on? I do think that it is a bit much. And you have a young daughter. I just, if that is your way to have fun, you enjoy it, I guess it is what it is. But to promote it and to be proud and to make it a line and try and make it a thing with as much as cocaine, crack, however you want to put it, has devastated the Black community and the years and years that we're still like going through that, I just think it's a bit much. Like, girl, calm down. I don't know. You want to root for everybody Black, but Zeus Network, I don't get it. I don't get most of the programs. I don't get what they're pushing. They seem to just be pushing debauchery, drinking, fighting, and whatever. And I guess this is just an extension of that. Hopefully the audience will grow out of it and not take it that seriously. But, shout out to you. Let's see where it takes you. At any rate, let's get into this situation with Ricky Ross. So, NFL star Tyreek Hill, who has been in his own set of headlines because, he impregnated several women within the same year. Within that same year, he got married really quickly, and then someone on his behalf, apparently, allegedly, filed for an annulment or a divorce, and that was all sticky. Well, in the midst of all of that happening, back in January, his house caught on fire. Now, the source of the fire allegedly was a child perhaps playing with matches or a lighter, but he is neighbors in the same community as rapper Rick Ross. And so Rick, like many people that we see, took to social media to report what he saw with fire trucks and so forth happening. And so Tyreek recently appeared on the Pivot podcast to talk about a lot of things, but this topic came up, and he says that he does not respect Rick Ross for putting his situation onto social media. Let's take a look.
Bro, I'm sitting there one day on radio, and the whole thing is about your house being on fire. Bro, what the hell happened?
Bro, I was at practice when it happened. Crazy. First of all, I just want to say, Rick Ross, bro, I can't vibe with you now, bro. I can't with you no more, bro. Rick Ross, man. Like, you ain't even come over. You had the audacity to talk to a fireman instead of come text. You got my number, bro. You get on Twitter, post me all over Twitter. Like, after what me and my family went through. You supposed to be the neighbor, the neighborhood.
So, Tyreek is understandably upset about it. Rick Ross heard what he had to say and responded with his version of why he feels like Tyreek needs to chill out.
Tyreek Hill, I wasn't picking on you, homie. I wasn't picking on you at all. First of all, I'm assuming you are all pro, wealthy, great homeowners insurance, who gonna go get new porcelain floors, marble walls, pillars. So it ain't nothing to pick on you about. More importantly, your beautiful mother and your family was straight. They were straight. I didn't film none of them, homie. And let's not act like I'm the one that premiered the fire to the world. It was 5 helicopters circling over your crib and my crib. We stay right across the street from each other. I didn't post you and your girl outside. I didn't post mom, none of that. But it was everywhere, homie. But I was on your podcast before. I always with you. I come on my podcast. It only makes sense. Biggest. And on another note, I just don't like the way the fire department dealt with the fire. They let the house smoke 45 minutes. Once the fire burnt through the ceiling, it was 15 fire trucks on the street. Only one was spraying water into the ceiling. The fire burnt for another hour. With all that commotion going on, when you say, Tariq, when you mentioned I spoke to the fireman, I asked the fireman, could your mother come and have a seat with everything that's going on? That's what I asked the fireman. And Tariq, I would love for you to bring that vert, the car that you got out there, to the car show June 1st. You more than welcome. All the Dolphin players, all the homies from around the world, you more than welcome. I know you got the old school, that candy painted. I know what it is. Tariq, June 1st. Let's go. Hit me up.
If we will do nothing else, we're going to promote something, right? If we got something to sell. So, I think it's interesting because we live in a time where sometimes people recording something has been beneficial. It's caught something that others have missed. It confirmed something that wasn't believed prior to some sort of action or note, or it just kept us informed, right? But on the post that Rick Ross did put up, he did tag in the video NFL Miami Dolphins Tyreek Hill's house is on fire or something like that. That seems a bit intrusive. I'm sure he wouldn't have liked that. But there is something to be said about what is happening right outside your door as far as your observations. Now, in the real world, I think, we don't know what the firemen were doing. Maybe it was too dangerous for them to go in at the time. Maybe that was their theory. I mean, I don't know. There's all types of science to fire or whatever. Or maybe they were really messing up. But I think that, one, Tyreek has Rick Ross's number too, like he said. Text him. If you really had that much of a problem. Rick Ross did have a point that there were 5 helicopters around, but what is the expectation of privacy in 2024 for individuals? I think that our concept of privacy has changed as we have gotten more attached to our phones. Does the benefit outweigh the, what we give up? We give up a lot. We are on camera now more than ever. Everywhere that you go, there is some type of camera. Most times we feel like it is for our protection. And, I suppose it is. But if your neighbor saw something happening and perhaps got something that was wrong or that they missed, you would be thankful for that. So I don't know. It's such a tough thing because we use video in so many ways now and we rely on it for so many different things. Think about what would have been missed if, what is the gentleman with the cigarettes and the police officers and the young lady recorded, I'm blanking on his name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. He had the cigarettes. They said he was selling the Lucy's in New York, and they did the chokehold on him. It's a couple years ago. Even with George Floyd, that situation. So we know the importance of it, but Eric Garner, that's what I thought. Yeah. So, a camera phone, somebody recording that instance was important. But, there is an invasion of privacy that we have to start thinking about and looking at. And, I mean, Rick Ross may have had good intentions, but it did feel a little clout chasey. I don't know. Andy?
No, I wouldn't call it clout chasing. I mean, you have something called the Citizen app.
Yeah, facts.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Citizen app. For anybody listening, I mean, anything that goes down, it could be a helicopter just hovering over your head. You go on the Citizen app, somebody's either recording or something. You'll be surprised. It could be a takeover going down the street or whatnot. And you'll be surprised of the amount of people that got their cameras recording what's going on. I'm like, yo, this person stays, 0.2 miles away from me. So, with regards to privacy, it kind of doesn't exist. Like, how it used to be back in the day. I mean, there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's a different time.
It is. I feel that way too. The only reason why I said maybe a little cloud chasing is because Rick Ross specifically put on his story NFL player Tyreek Hill's house going up in flames. And it's like, you could have left that out. But the point still stands. We definitely are always on camera. We push for more in some instances, and we're giving up a lot of our liberties with that, you know? But does the benefit when it happens outweigh those situations? So we'll see what Tyreek comes back with. Tyreek seems to have a lot of situations not kind of lined up, as mentioned, you know, the multiple pregnancies in a year and a wedding. And I can't remember, I don't think that woman was one of the multiple pregnancies in the year either. So, excuse me, just a lot of things happening. Maybe he's just feeling attacked because his name has been in the press. But, I mean, obviously not the fire. But overall, make better choices. Because clearly, he's not thinking all of those things through. So, shout out to them. I hope they work it out peacefully. I believe that they will. Because what's there to beef about at this point anyway? Like Rick Ross said, you got insurance money. You're going to get it hooked up. Everything is going to be amazing. But let's see what's going on in the chat. Very little. Shout out to Kendi for putting me on to Eric Garner's name. You guys let me know in the chat, what are your thoughts about privacy? Because I feel like as we venture more and more down this social media time and all of these things, bits of our privacy are currently being chipped away, more so chipped away. And we willingly line up for it, but the reality, the repercussions of it, you know, could be kind of tricky. Andy?
Especially with all the apps that you download on your phone, all the tracking from these companies. I mean, real talk, it ain't no privacy like that. Straight up.
There's no such thing as getting off the grid. Like I used to, for whatever reason, I used to imagine what I would do to get off the grid if I ever had to get off the grid. Probably watch too much TV shows. And I determined that I would not be able to do it.
It's possible.
I mean, I'm sure it is, but one, a lot of cash. Planning in advance. I don't know how I would do it. I'm like, there's cameras everywhere. There's lights. You would have to buy a burner cell phone, but then you would have to make sure you did it in cash and nobody's watching you on the cameras buying it. I don't know.
You don't need a phone, period. Just go to the woods, though. There's some campgrounds, you know what I'm saying? High in the mountains, too, where you don't get any type of service.
Yeah, but somebody's going to... But to get there, there's cameras that'll track you there. You got to get out of town and hope that you can disappear deep in the woods before they catch up with your path that you went to the woods. Andy's like, I got some thoughts on that. I know my way around that. Listen, when we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
What you say? We get loose in the smoke. Let the roof on fire.
If you know anything about me, then you know I'm a baller. If I don't hit the first night, I ain't gon' call her. I'm trying to play, you trying to have my daughter, but I can't blame her for what her mama told her. And I don't care about what the next border, cause I ain't putting no baguettes in her border. I got a diamond that's about as clear as water, and I got bread, but I ain't spending a quarter. So cut the games, ma, let's go in the back. Matter of fact, turn that round back again. And I ain't biased when I'm riding through the town. Like I'm small, like I'm tall, like I'm black, like I'm brown. She gotta be able to come when I need her. Tight ass pants, little wife, beat her. Regular chick or R&B diva. Say something I ain't a mind. Need a fire up in here, it's burning hot. We on fire.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A voting rights proposal named in honor of a former black congressman from Atlanta is back on the table in Washington. U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock says that a Senate Judiciary Committee will consider the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which brings back some safeguards of the original Voting Rights Act of 1965. Lewis served in office for over 15 terms after his time serving in early efforts to help the civil rights movement. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell says she does not have the keys to that controversial French Quarter apartment. City Council members recently authorized the council's attorney to request an eviction order from a judge. Cantrell, who is black, says it's the French Market Corporation that controls it. Council will vote soon on whether to order the city attorney to start eviction proceedings. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Save now at Dell.com/deals.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Have you fallen behind on your water and power bill? LADWP has made paying your past due bills even easier. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to get set monthly bills that include past due amounts. Or check out the special extended payment arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. Visit LADWP.com/cares and sign up today. That's LADWP.com/cares.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're looking for the most epic place on Earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I need your body in ways that you don't understand, but I'm losing my patience, 'cause we've been going over and over again. Girl, I just wanna take you home and get right into it. No, I gotta kiss it, baby, give it to me, lick it inside and out. You know that I just wanna make love, want you to scream and shout, and baby, we're now deep in it now. I'ma slow it down, 'cause ain't no speed limit when we're moving at the speed of sound. We gon' turn all the way up when the lights down. Why you too good, Miss Slade? Going with that booty up, baby, when I want, you know I'ma go crazy. When your legs in the air, you know your pennies never getting in the way. You know I kinda like it when you make me work for it. Hey, you got it out of tied up skirt. Get that in the bed, I'ma lock the door. Shake that like boom chakalaka, boom chakalaka. We don't need nobody watching us. No eyes but your eyes. Ain't nobody here but you.
Welcome
and
back
me.
in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You guys know Chris Brown just announced his summer tour. He's going on tour with Money Long, and I can't remember who else is also on a couple of the dates. But I think tickets are already on sale. You know, if it's summertime, Chris Brown is touring with his 58-track albums. I wonder what... It's been so long since I've seen Chris Brown perform live. What does he even perform, like, when he hits these things? Are you guys really rocking out to, like, the deep album cuts from his 56 songs album drops? I'm just curious. Or is it a amalgamation of all the hits, like, as he runs it along? Just curious what kind of tour CB puts up. At any rate, you were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Of course, this is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. So we talked, I think it was last night or Monday night, about the flack that Usher has been receiving because he was out in Bali and was spotted with Russell Simmons. Well, Russell Simmons' ex-wife, Kimora Lee Simmons, who we know used to be BFFs with Russell, so much to the point that even after they divorced, Russell was the godfather to her son from a new relationship. Well, it's definitely not like that anymore. And we know they have a lot of beef. Russell even sued Kimora and her ex-husband, Tim Lessler, I think his last name was, for about stealing Celia's stock shares, allegedly, from him and all of these different things. So they're no longer on good terms. You know, their daughters are out of college, both graduated from NYU and Harvard, modeling now, hitting the streets. And Kimora seemingly responded to whatever was happening, the friendship situation with Russell and Usher. She posted on her Instagram stories earlier and said, "What is this I'm seeing in the news today? Laughing out loud. Y'all some wild boys for real, right?" And she had the little emoji with the hand hiding her face. And the next slide says, "Not by my bed, laughing out loud, and the laughing emojis." Well, if you recall, when Russell first posted that Usher was in Bali visiting him. He said he woke up to a great surprise and it was Usher by my bed. So obviously, Kimora is throwing some shots, some hints, alluding to something. I mean, we know that she probably has a treasure trove of information, being that she was married to Russell and also best friends with Kim Porter. But, people get tired of the hide and seek, the little hints that people are dropping, and it's like, say it or keep it moving. You were complicit at one point. I personally, everybody has their moments when they want to just be like, I peep game and keep it moving. So I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I can understand why fans are a little annoyed or perturbed that she is hinting and not just saying whatever it is she wants to say. So, shout out to Kimora, shout out to Usher. It's been an interesting ride, Usher. All of them, really. But I suppose, well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but I don't know if anyone responded with how they felt about if you were friends with someone and they are accused of a crime, right? And seemingly, we do a lot of t-shirts and free the big homie, free whomever. We, seem to, at least to some degree, believe in the innocent until proven guilty. But do we really? And is that it's appropriate in law, but is it appropriate under the current circumstances of some of the crimes that people are accused of? Are you a bad person by standing by a friend until these things have been worked out through the judicial system? I think it's hard to, not hard, but hard in that, people want to be loyal and be there for their friends, and they may not know, just like the public doesn't know. I think that we are definitely at a time when everyone just jumps on and believes whatever's put out there. And it's a double-edged sword because, one, it is believe women, believe whomever the victim is. It's hard to come forward with these things. People don't want to be ridiculed. If they're coming forward, then, something happened, because the tendency is not to make these things public. But as we have come into a time where therapy is more acceptable, where people are more open about their struggles, is the same, and again, not casting dispersions, just having a conversation. I feel like right now is the best time in the world to be honest if you are struggling with certain things, because there's a lot more compassion in the world, or at least people pretend to be. I think that it is a lot more open to people struggling in different types of forms and fashions. I think that there is more opportunity to love whomever you want to love and still be able to get on in life, because the fear very much in prior times was, oh, you're going to be ostracized. Oh, you won't be able to keep a job. And I think that we are definitely in a different era. Kendi in the chat says Andy Cohen had some allegations right now, and the housewives defended him. Some defended him. Some definitely stood on the side of, I told you guys about Andy. And there have been hints along the way about different things with Andy. And I think just overall with some, not all, but with some of these situations, a great deal of them involve socializing and partying and alcohol and those type of side activities where, your defenses are down, your conscience may be altered because of whatever you're imbibing. And so that is why we end up on a slippery slope. But if you know someone to be a good person, and in those environments, everyone seems to be having a good time, is it wrong to stand by your friend? I think not, but we're in such sensitive times, and the things being accused of are pretty heinous. It's hard to say. I don't know. And as a person being accused, if you are innocent, Of course, you would want your friends to stand by you, but would you understand if they took 2 steps back into the left while all of those things worked themselves out? I don't know. We'll see what develops. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So I was going to talk about this. I was going to play the audio, but we'll just talk about it. And Andy sent me an interview about it anyway. Since we were talking about Rick Ross, it's only appropriate that we mention that his 6-month relationship with Christina Mackey has come to an end. Womp, womp, womp. Now, Christina, who is a trainer on social media, came out of nowhere and was very boastful about their relationship, told women that they had never had a man that allowed them to rest in their power, that Rick Ross had never been this way, this passionate with another woman, holding hands, trips to Dubai. Everyone told her that she was wrong, but she insisted, that this was the man she wanted to marry, have his babies. And, there were rumors that Rick Ross had a baby with someone else. She reposted the pictures of the little girl and called her beautiful, Everyone said she was a pick-me. They were on vacation. She was making him hamburger helper and little home tacos and things of that nature. Ross got her new teeth, and the slim ones, she said they look slim and feminine. not like those big bulky choppers a lot of you get with the Columbia Special. So imagine our shock and surprise when Rick Ross was spotted out and about with a new girl in Miami, out in the club, courtside at the Heat game. Where, oh where was Christina? Well, Christina's made an announcement on her Instagram and said that she and Ross have parted ways, and it was a beautiful experience. She said that she won't be getting on any pod. Now she's learned, I guess, to keep a little quiet, maybe keep a little bit inside. She won't be doing any more podcasts to talk about the breakup. She said sales are up for her online workout courses, and life is good. But I mean, I really think the lesson in it is not to not be proud of your boo, not to enjoy a situation, because anything could happen. She very well could have been different from the other ones, but a little humility goes a long way. There was no need to try and rub all of those things in the general population's face just because, and to tell women what they didn't have in their life simply because they could see the red flags in this situation. I know red flags is like Magic Mountain, Six Flags, any of the other things for a lot of people. And that means we're gearing up to have fun. But, what is the old saying? Youth is wasted on the young. So hopefully she learns a little bit from this. It's not like she walked away empty-handed. She got some publicity. As she said, sales are up for her online workouts, and she got new teeth. So there's nothing to be upset about, but hopefully the next time she moves forward, maybe she'll opt to keep the relationship a little lower profile, or at least not imply that because something doesn't work out, it means that the woman is defective and there's somehow a problem with them, and all this individual needed was a good man to set him up and set him focused. It's not always that way. But it keeps it moving, and we know Rick Ross loves to keep the motivation out there. What is this, like, his fourth or fifth paramour, shall we say, over the past year or so? I guess that's what it's about. He's a bachelor, free. He's like 40-something, never been married. Why not? Of course, nobody has an issue with that. Listen, so shout out to Rick Ross. So we talked a bit last week about LeBron James and that he is coming out with a beard line and men's skincare line called The Shop, based off of his popular talk show TV series that takes place in a barbershop setting. Well, The Shop will be spun off from his Uninterrupted production company label and become its own separate brand. So it will obviously still continue to have the podcast aspect and those type of things, but it will also have these different products, as we said, the beer products, and there will be a UK version of The Shop coming, and it will be hosted by Idris Elba. So it is launching in London sometime this year with that. So as a company, LeBron Springhill Uninterrupted has a valuation of about $725 million in 2021, and some of the investors in it include Fenway Sports Group and Nike. So LeBron continues to build his off-the-court business. I think that we've talked about it. Men's grooming is a good area to be in. We know LeBron may be sparse as far as hair up top, but that beard is always full and lush. So it makes sense that this product line is there. I think the men's personal care space is a good space to jump into. I think that there is not a great deal there for men, and I think that they're getting more in tune with keeping that skin clear, keeping the braids clear, how all of that functions together. There is nothing wrong with having a nice, clean manicure or pedicure. Keep those feet together. All of that. So I'm here for it. And, we want to see LeBron continue to win and succeed. So shout out to them for that. Are you buying? Are you guys going to tap in and test it out, see what the products look like. I mean, I definitely would. I'm here for it. Well, I don't have a beard, but, shout out to them. So speaking of support and supporting brands, if you saw online, Cardi B took a little bit of hit from her freestyle that she dropped last week that samples Missy Elliott's She's a Bee. In it, we can presume one of the writers had a line that was dissing Coach brand. Now, what the rumor is that it probably was a line written by Megan Thee Stallion's ex-boyfriend Party, because the song is at least a year old, remember, and that it was a shot at Megan with the Coach line. But Cardi B wanted it to be understood that she has no beef with Coach. So she put up a video of herself thumb down, how do you say that? Giving a thumbs down to her Birkin bag and going on a shopping expedition to Coach and picking up a nice little Coach bag. So here's the thing. We know that like back in the 90s, Coach was a big brand, considered a luxury brand. Then they went through a period of time, maybe it was because the designers weren't keeping up, where people felt like it wasn't as luxe as it once was, and it declined as far as consumers. And people started putting Coach and Michael Kors on a different tier where they used to be considered luxury brands that people sought out. Coach recently has a new designer and has redesigned some of their projects and done some strategic marketing deals. And, they're trying to come back. And so Cardi wanted to show their support. So shout out to her for trying to do it big. But what all anybody really wants, Cardi, is the album. Let's go with that. Let's see what's happening with that. The freestyle moment kind of came and went. Great sample. Great looks. But I don't know. We're going to talk a little bit about the music industry in the next hour with this suit, but we're also going to get into some comments that Joe Budden has made about the music industry. And, I know people think that Joe is just a crotchety, angry, old rapper guy, but sometimes he makes some sense. And he has some thoughts on not just hip hop, but where music as a whole is headed. So we're going to get into that. And of course, more trending topics and headlines. Did I mention? Yes, I did, I think. We mentioned that Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos are firmly parting ways. I think we talked about that when we talked about Russell. And, him saying that God told him to be a stepdad to Little Future and angered all the people. And the cap hit that the Denver Broncos are taking with the $85 million. We also saw Sierra come out and support her man online and say that, everything is everything. But the question remains, do we think that Russell, where do we think he's going to land? I've heard Steelers put out there somewhere like that. Or do we think that this is the end of the road for him?
He'll bounce back.
He'll bounce back to a good team?
I don't know. I've been here in Chicago. They're talking about getting rid of Justin Fields. So, I don't know. Good team or not, he'll bounce back.
But he's definitely in the twilight, no?
No, he's not in the twilight.
No, you don't think so?
He still got some juice. He got a lot of juice left.
Okay.
I just think he came into Denver just with his nose up in the air. And that's why, he rubbed a lot of people wrong.
Okay.
But he needs to go somewhere that the organization and the coach is going to rock with him.
Right, because what's his name that came from the Saints? What's their coach? Sean Payton? Is that it? Yeah, he definitely was not rocking with him. Listen, more trending topics and headlines on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
No, my loving don't change. I don't really give up what a hater say. Cause you fine, baby. And it's alright, cause you're all mine, baby. Girl, I'ma let you get crazy. Hey, you got without a tied-up skirt. Get that in the bed, I'ma lock the door. Shake that like boom, chakalaka, boom, chakalaka. We don't need nobody watching us. No.